شرار غم میسوزم به تمامی وجود، ز شرار غم میسوزم به تمامی وجود، دوباره باید بخون.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم ومن همزات الشياطين ومن خطوات الشياطين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خاتم النبيين، سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيبنا ومولانا ومولى الكونين، رسول الثقلين، جد الحسن والحسين، أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين. أما بعد، يقول الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم وهو أصدق الصادقين وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى. صدق الله العظيم وصدق الرسول الكريم. أما بعد، إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد. أما بعد، السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
In Surah Al-Najm, chapter 53 of the wise Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts such a statement upon the ummah that all the haters, all the doubters, all those people who claim to love Rasulullah but actually were plotting against him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shut all of their mouths with one statement. Which statement? Chapter 53 from verse 1 to 5. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that whatever Rasulullah speaks from his mouth, anything Rasulullah does is nothing but a wahi from Allah wa ta'ala. Anything. In huwa illa wahyu yuha. Whatever he does, whatever he speaks verbally, it is a wahi. Whatever Rasulullah does with his actions, it is a wahi. Even if you are giving sadaqah and Rasulullah is just looking at you, it is a wahi from Allah wa ta'ala. Therefore, whatever Rasulullah does, it is a wahi. Allow me to get into my topic right now. It is the topic of Fatema al-Zahra alayha salam. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Louder, salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bibi Fatema al-Zahra, in order to have a small introduction into her beautiful life, I will present a verse from the Quran that sums up her whole life. Chapter 33, Surah Ahzab, verse 33. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمْ رِجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. Fatema al-Zahra her life is summarized in this one verse. Surah 33, verse 33. Allah says, for ordinary people like me and you, Allah says for us, for people like me and you, Allah wants us to be removed from sins. Allah intends to remove us from sins. However, for the Ahl al-Bayt, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows these individuals do not commit sins. They are free from sins. But Allah says, وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا, that Allah wants to purify you. Not only purify you even further, to an extent that you are completely purified. And hence, Fatema al-Zahra's life is completely purified. Allow me to take a step further. Rasulullah, and this hadith is mentioned in both Shia and the Ahl Sunnah books. Rasulullah is quoted to have said that Fatema is a part of me, from my body. Whoever angers her, angers me. And now I ask you, whatever Rasulullah says, in huwa illa wahyu yuha. This word from Rasulullah is a wahi from Allah Azza wa Jal. Number one. Number two, anyone who angers her, angers me. Then Rasulullah, you can have this hadith, it's right here now. In Biharul Anwar, Rasulullah says, Fatema's door is my door. Fatema's door is my door. Whoever attacks her is as if this man has attacked Rasulullah. Indeed, Bibi Fatima's life is illustrious. We, as the Shia of Fatima al-Zahra, can learn several lessons from her. And indeed, this talk is dedicated towards her. Now, we know Fatima is pure. We know the Imams are pure. And Allah certifies it in chapter 33. There comes a time in life when people, when they see the Jew are getting your reputation, Allah loves you. These individuals want to backfire. These individuals plot against you. Allow me to present a hadith found in a book from the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah that has a perspective towards the life of Fatima and Ali ibn Abi Talib. This book, I request you, before passing any comments, understand, listen, and then think. This book talks about the married life of Fatima and Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. This book, it says that there came a time that Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatima al-Zahra had arguments. These individuals, who we call purified, not only us, but Allah calls them purified, these individuals had a fight. So what happened? Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam came down and told Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that listen, right now, through that door, Fatima al-Zahra will enter and will complain to you about Ali ibn Abi Talib. The moment she complains, tell her to go back to her home. Take a look at this hadith. Fatima enters the house of Rasulullah. The moment she enters, Rasulullah tells her that Fatima, what are you here? What do you intend to do over here? Fatima says, I'm here to complain. Rasulullah says, complain about Ali. Fatima, go back to your home and tell your husband. And tell your husband that you are ready to swipe your nose, to mop your nose under his dust. And what was Fatima there to complain about? Economical situation of Ali, the physical appearance of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Does this hadith get into your mind? La, this does not get into our mind. Kwanini, this hadith is fabricated. It is completely against the Quran. Not only that, but also these individuals have hatred to the Ahl al-Bayt. Bibi Fatima al-Zahra and Ali, these two individuals who Allah claims to be pure, they have fights. Amongst a marriage relationship, one of the worst things is to have a fight in the eyes of Allah. So you're trying to tell me my role model is having a fight with their spouse? Do you think Allah is placing role models like that? La. Furthermore, after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, louder salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And even louder salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. After the death of the Holy Prophet, after the death of Ali ibn Abi Talib, there came a time in the Khilafah where Ali ibn Abi Talib was the center of attraction. Lakini kwanini? They wanted to attack Ali. They wanted to damage his reputation. They wanted to degrade Ali. There came a caliph in the Muslim Ummah who claims to be the rightly guided, following the rightly guided. This individual makes a statement and says, every Jum'ah khutbah, every khutbah of the Jum'ah prayers, there must be the cursing of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Not only that, but also this man paid money in order to fabricate hadith on Rasulullah, to fabricate hadith about Ali and against Ali ibn Abi Talib. There came a time when this habit became universal. Every Jum'ah khutbah, there was the cursing of Ali. Until we, as the Shia, have this expectation that this hadith that I just presented about the fight of Ali and Fatima, it is a fabricated hadith. Therefore, when you talk about individuals and role models just like Fatima, understand her status in the eyes of Allah and understand what the Quran says about her. We move a step further. Bibi Fatima al-Zahra is amongst the Ahl al-Bayt, correct?
Yes.
Okay, correct? Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, in Nahj al-Balagha, sermon number 2, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib talks about the Ahl al-Bayt. When Imam Ali alayhi salam says, there came a time when Allah Azza wa Jal created Iblis, created Shaitan, correct? After creating Shaitan, there came a time when this Iblis, la'natullahi alayhi, he disobeyed Allah. Not only that, but also Iblis took the individuals, took the people, and told them, listen, disobey Allah, do not follow the path of Allah. And then, when this moment occurred, the religion of Allah, Islam, started to shatter. The pillars of Islam were about to shatter, until Ali ibn Abi Talib says, when the Ahlul Bayt came into existence, the shaitan, the plans of shaitan, the footsteps of shaitan, and all other things associated with shaitan, the moment the Ahlul Bayt came into existence, the moment these individuals came in, Islam, their pillar, the religion became upright. Its bone, its backbone became upright. The religion of Islam, which was about to collapse, came back to life. Wanini, because of the Ahlul Bayt. These individuals are those individuals. When Ali ibn Abi Talib describes them, he says, we are ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim as-sirat alladhina an'amta alayhim. My Lord, every day, Surah Al-Fatiha, in our 5 times salah, it is wajib for us to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. No other option, no other alternative. In which we say, ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. My Lord, put me on the straight path, guide me to the straight path, keep me to the straight path, in the straight path, until which we say, Sirat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim, the path of which you have blessed, the path of which you have sent your rahmah upon. And Ali ibn Abi Talib says, we are these paths, we are that path which Allah says, Sirat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim. We move a step forward. Bibi Fatema alayha salam, indeed, she had many evil planners in her life. She had the people who oppressed her. She had people who despised her. Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Until which Imam Ali alayhi salam in Nahj al-Balagha says that when the shaitan were there, the flag of the shaitan was moving freely. My friend, if I look in today's ummah, that flag of shaitan can be visible to me right now. At this moment, the flag of the shaitan mentioned in Nahj al-Balagha, which Ali ibn Abi Talib talks about, is clearly visible in today's life. Let me tell you why. Our ummah is the ummah of Islam. Correct? We are supposed to be the most civilized creatures on earth. Unfortunately, I believe that's not. What are the factors that demote Islam? And especially we as youth face these problems. Number one, we individuals, our tongue has no control. We speak whatever we want to speak. We abuse whenever we want to abuse. We give vulgar language whenever we want to feel it. And it comes a moment when the ulama of the Muslims, they decided the moment a person gives a bad language, a foul language from his tongue, that moment we realize that this man has no iman. This man has no taqwa of Allah. This man is a man who has no iman at all. In fact, there came a time when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There came a time when Rasulullah says, Jannah is prohibited to any person who uses obscene language, who uses vulgar language. He does not have haya, and he does not care if anything is told to him or anything is not told to him. For example, somebody is speaking vulgar language. Somebody goes to tell him, Akhi, what you are doing is haram. He will tell you, I don't care. The next day you decide to not talk to him. He won't care. And then there comes a moment that this man is now a habit to speak vulgar language. It's a habit to abuse someone who is talking to you. Every word you speak is something bad. In fact, in today's world, there came a research which said about 0.5% of our daily conversations, an average individual, about 0.5% contains vulgar language. A person was recorded 0.5%, 90 to 80 words of his daily talk, vulgar language, obscene language, bad language, foul language. This is not in the religion of Islam. This is completely not allowed in the religion of Islam. In fact, when we talk about obscene language and obscene things in our ummah, there are things that circulate around it. For instance, music. Music is one of the factors that demotes our ummah, that promotes our ummah to lag behind, and this is not permissible. In fact, the moment you do this, you can consider yourself doing oppression to Fatema al-Zahra. The moment you do this, you can consider yourself to do oppression on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. The moment that you do anything obscene, you can listen to music, you can talk anything bad, but the moment you do it, Rasulullah, you are doing zulm upon your beloved Prophet, my friend. And we move to such a problem that music is now a daily routine for a person. He wakes up in the morning, music. He comes back from school, music. He goes to work, music. He drives his car, music. Every place, music. And I tell you, the moment you get used to music, every word that comes out from your mouth will be music. Lakini, in Fatema al-Zahra's life, we can take a beautiful example and implement it into our daily lives. Fatema al-Zahra, in her daily life, what did she do that is such illustrious that we can take a lesson from? Listen, when you go and purchase a slave in today's world, a maid in today's world, and in that times, in the times of Rasulullah, you go to the bazaar and purchase a slave. In today's world, you employ a maid. One thing similar is when they come from the bazaar, they are ignorant, they are jahil, they do not know Islam. They might claim to be Muslims, but they do not pray their wajibat salah. These individuals are those people who need hidayah. Correct? Today in my world, I go to the market, for example. I employ a slave, I employ a maid. The maid comes into my house. So, the same thing happened to Fatema al-Zahra alayha salam. She got Fidda alayha salam, correct? Fidda alayha salam, when she used to talk after getting into the house of Fatima, what used to come out from her mouth? The verses of the Quran. I tell you, each word that she spoke was nothing except from the Quran. Imagine, I call my friend to my house and I play songs. The next day he comes, I play songs again. The next day he comes, I play songs again. Every day. There comes a time when he leaves my house, someone talks to him, he will reply with a verse of the song. There can also be a time when he comes to your house, you play a nasheed, and then this becomes a daily routine. There comes a time when he will be speaking nasheed, but the Quran, imagine, Fatema al-Zahra's house was surrounded with the verses of the Quran, with the teachings of the Quran, with taqwa of Allah, with the obedience to Allah, with ikhlas. With ikhlas. From what? From the people for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Therefore, encourage your children, but you don't have them. Encourage your brothers, your sisters, your family, your parents, your friends, your colleagues, your teachers to move, circulate, and move yourself with the Quran, that it becomes infiltrated, it gets into your blood and flesh and it mixes with it. There comes a time each word you speak is in the Quran. Move further. We move further into the Bible. The Bible, the book of Matthew, chapter number 12, verse number 36. It is mentioned that it says, and it was said, that each and every single word, each and every single useless word you speak, on the day of judgment you will be accountable for it. You will be accountable for it. My friend, listen, each and every useless word you speak, that can be vulgar language, it can be foul language, it can be something bad that hurts somebody else, and may Allah forgive us for that. Every word you speak, isn't it a coincidence? Anything that is in the Bible matches with the Quran, we are allowed to use it. Surah Fussilat chapter 41, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَوْمَ يُحْشَرُ عَدَاءُ اللَّهِ إِلَى النَّارِ فَهُمْ يُوزَعُونَ. And remember the day when the enemies of Allah shall be thrown into the pits of fire. حَتَّى إِذَا مَا جَاءُوا شَهِدَ عَلَيْهِمْ سَمْعُهُمْ وَأَبْصَارُهُمْ وَجُلُودُهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Until their hearings, their eyes and their skin shall testify against them. شهد عليهم سمعهم وأبصارهم وجلودهم بما كانوا يعملون. Whatever action you used to do, you speak vulgar language, you listen to music, you do ribat, The moment you do that, Allah says, بِمَا كَانَ your own skin will testify you. And then you will ask your skin, وَقَالُوا لِلْجُلُودِهِمْ لِمَا شَهِدْتُمْ عَلَيْنَا قَالُوا أَنْطَقَنَا اللَّهُ. Why did you testify against me? You are a part of me. Why did you disturb me? Why did you tell Allah that I did this and this and this? Why did I go against him? He will say, it will say, because Allah Azza wa Jal has given me the power to do so. So therefore, an advice to our young brothers, be careful of what you speak. Because what goes out cannot be brought in, especially from the mouth. We move further into obscenity. So, we have our parents. And our parents are considered role models in today's world. When people grow old, they decide to abandon their parents. They decide to use vulgar language against their parents. My friend, this is not what Rasulullah and Fatema Zahra taught us. This is completely not the sunnah of Rasulullah. My friend, it comes a time when Fatema Zahra alayha salam, salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Alawna salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. When Fatima used to meet Rasulullah, she used to stand up. She used to kiss Rasulullah. When Rasulullah used to meet Fatima, Rasulullah would stand up and kiss Fatima, respect Fatima. You heard Sheikh Alireza Majlis. He said, why did Rasulullah stand up when he used to see Fatima entering the Majlis? It is said that number one, he either wanted to eradicate Jahiliyyah. Number two, this is unnatural. Father and son, father and daughter, father and children, father and a child's love. Number three, he was impressed by the spiritual status of Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. And then, when you come to see a father and a son, a father and a daughter's relationship, it is to such a relationship that one should be very concerned about it. Silatul Rahim. When I go to school, the routine I use to school, there is a poster of the Quran. No, there's a poster of the Hadith that says, Rasulullah says, that take care. That Rasulullah says, O fathers, respect your children. O parents, respect your children. Panini, so that Allah Azza wa Jal may forgive you. And in the Bible, for example, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 22, it is said, and obey the father that gave birth to you, and do not hate your mother when she is old. Isn't it a coincidence? In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. And Allah says, and say that my Lord have mercy upon my parents, just the way they had mercy to me when I was small. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah. Therefore, if you want to look into the perspective of the Bible, or if you want to look into the perspective of the Holy Quran, everything that is shared in Fatima Zahra's life is completely the same to what both of these books teach, and both of these heavenly books teach. My friend, Fatima Zahra and Rasulullah are people we take guidance from, until which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. That Rasulullah is the best of role models. Do not take this lightly. Do not speak vulgar language. Do not roam around with music. The moment you use music, the moment you use obscene language, Rasulullah says Jannah is prohibited to the one who uses obscene language. But Fatima Zahra, her life is indeed illustrious. Her life, it is truly remarkable, isn't it? It started off with oppression, it ended off with oppression, and until today, it is oppression and oppression. We as the Shia, don't you think we oppress Fatima Zahra? Don't you think that we claim to love her, but at the end of the day, we are the ones who stab her behind the back? Don't you think we are those individuals who are hurting her despite her demise? Don't you think that we are doing something wrong? The moment you think that Allah's Sharia, you think that Allah's laws are small, and you decide to break them, you decide to go against them, you are indeed in Hizb al-Shaytan. When Ali ibn Abi Talib in Nahj al-Balagha, Sermon 2, Ali says that there came a time when the Shaytan's barrier, when the Shaytan's flag was freely moving until the Ahlul Bayt came and made the deen of Islam erect once more. When it came to Fatema al-Zahra alayhi salam, her life, as I said, was an operation. There came a time after the death of Rasulullah, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, once he passed away, Fatema al-Zahra daily used to go to Rasulullah's grave and say, "Oh my father, once you passed away, upon me came such musibah, such problems, such troubles, that if it would fall upon the moon, upon the night, it would turn into the day. My father, your ummah has indeed oppressed me until Ali ibn Abi Talib, when he is going to now bury Fatema al-Zahra, he tells Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, now indeed your daughter is coming back to you. She is not far away from you. Ya Rasulullah, I am returning your amana. Ya Rasulullah, now it is time for your daughter to come and tell you the way your ummah oppressed her, the way your ummah who oppressed her to such an extent that now Fatema has passed away. Ya Rasulullah, there came a time, now it's me who is speaking. Ya Rasulullah, there came a time when the wilayah of Ali ibn Abi Talib was at stake. The Zalimun entered, they were approaching Fatema's house, and they said, Ya Fatema, tell Ali to come out of the house. We will damage your door. Rasulullah in Bihar al-Anwar says that Fatema's door is my door. But no, these individuals were heedless. These individuals decided to do what Rasulullah said not to. These individuals told Fatema, Ya Fatema, take out Ali. Fatema said, no, Ali is in the house and he won't come out. They decided to burn down the door, to break the door. There came an instance where Fatema says, Al-Zalim came and he kicked Fatema. They stabbed Fatema on her womb where she was expecting a child. Fatema al-Zahra's ribs broke, and ulama says, listen, if you cannot bear the damage of a finger breaking, imagine the lady who broke a rib and survived for 95 days. How did this lady breathe? How did this lady survive? Fatema al-Zahra's operation was indeed to such an extent that she saw Ali ibn Abi Talib being taken out of her home and been bruised into the streets of Medina. She saw this operation, my friends. Do not oppress Fatema al-Zahra. Indeed, Fatema is indeed amongst the Jannatis and amongst the best of women in this dunya. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وارزقنا إنك أنت خير الرازقين. والسلام عليها يوم ولد ويوم يموت ويوم يبعث حيا. مات الحسين.
وقتی رفتی دشمن آتش زدن به خیمه ها